Nathan, I have a very important question for you.
Please.
And also for the audience, for you guys. Should Ford build and sell a Ford Maverick ST high
Yes,
performance?
yes,
What?
and yes.
What, really?
Yes, but we only can assume that it's going to be called the Ford Maverick ST. It might be called the Ford Maverick GT. Did anybody think of that?
What? Okay, so in this video, guys, we want to show you the latest spy images of what we think and what some others think may be the high-performance, street-oriented, right, version of the little Maverick pickup. And also just ask the question and also try to answer some rumors, right? You know, what could power this?
Yes, exactly.
What type of specs can we expect?
That's right. And we're basing it on some photos that we recently received. And we know that they're out there on the internet, but nonetheless, I've got the expert here. And on top of that, we put together a lot of information about potential powertrains and the possibility that this vehicle will come into existence as early as next year.
So let's take a look at some images that are a little grainy, so we apologize.
Extremely grainy.
But from the rear perspective, you can kind of zoom in here with us. The rear bumper looks special on this prototype, right?
Right. It's a dual exhaust setup. Now, if you look at the regular bumper on the Ford Maverick, you do not have those outlets. In fact, it's a single exhaust that hangs out underneath the bumper. You don't even see it.
Yes.
So this indicates that this could be a dual exhaust setup. If so, then there are certain types of ST models out there that Ford has that are EcoBoost, 4-cylinder, and in one case 6-cylinder, that require a dual exhaust setup. So that's a good hint right there.
Yes, there's a couple more hints.
Yeah.
First of all, the fender flares are kind of camouflaged and covered, and also the wheels themselves are covered.
They are covered, but if you look, you can tell that this vehicle has a wider stance. Those are low-profile tires by comparison of the regular setup that you have on the Maverick, and they're also wider. So the overall width looks like it's a little bit wider, which might explain the need for those wheel well extensions. And those wheels themselves look like they're at least 20-inch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So high performance could be key here. So the current Maverick has a actually has a hybrid, right?
Yeah, there's two options.
Which is kind of a base power plant. More economy minded, right? About 42 in the city.
Yeah,
MPG.
extremely. It's 162 horsepower setup, and it is only front wheel drive, and it's only available with their electronic continuously variable transmission, which is actually a planetary gear set, but we won't go into that.
Yes, so there's a hybrid, right?
Yes.
Then they also have the 2-liter EcoBoost right now on sale.
Right, which is a 250 horsepower setup.
Exactly. So this could be more. And look, on some of these images, you can see inside the grille.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's another one, I believe, of just the grill. There we go. It's a little fuzzy. Sorry, guys. It's like they used old-fashioned film, like 110 cameras or whatever. But if you look right there, you can clearly see that looks like a much larger intercooler.
Yeah, which means that this puppy could be producing a lot more horsepower.
Right, a larger intercooler would be needed by a more powerful or a higher output engine. So there is that. So those are the visual clues. There's a couple other. That's actually a really good shot too. Also, the bumper itself is slightly different shaped. And if we go back to the rear bumper, I wanted to show you something too. There you go. What do you notice that's not there? There is no tow hitch.
Yes, there's no tow hitch. The bumper itself is kind of flat here.
Yeah, that's right.
And the standard Maverick has, more cutouts over there.
That's correct.
Interesting. And also, you notice something here. There's a little plate by the fuel door.
Right, which is another shot that has a much better shot of it. Now, this could be, there we go. So
there's a little square here.
That black square, guys, if you look carefully, you can see there's bolts or rivets that are holding that square on next to the fuel door. It's entirely possible that could be something just for sensors, or it could be something else. And there are a lot of guesses out there, and what we want to talk about now are the possible drivetrains that are available. Now remember, Ford likes to work in a modular fashion, so they like to take their drivetrains and have them move from one vehicle to another. In fact, there are very few vehicles out there that have bespoke powertrains other than super high-end, vehicles like, the Raptor, with the 37s and whatever. Yeah. It's going to have a particular powertrain. That's not going to trickle down to too many vehicles.
Yes, so I wanted to bring this up really quick because this is really the benchmark, right now.
In terms of power, yes.
By the way, Ford Maverick, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a hot seller. They sold just over 20,000 Mavericks in the first quarter, in the first 3 months of 2022. So we know that's already good. The Santa Cruz, it's one of its main competitors in the compact segment. This has a turbocharged engine too.
Yeah.
A 2.5 liter.
That's their optional powerful
Exactly,
engine, right?
premium engine for them.
Right.
281 horsepower. This is 250
Yes.
in their turbo version. So I'm guessing here, this is my guess,
Yes.
is that they want the ST or some other higher performance model to really be, really kind of take care of this high output engine in the Santa Cruz.
That is a very good guess. So there are a bunch of powertrains.
Wait, did you draw some pictures
I actually have to draw myself pictures sometimes to remember exactly what I'm talking about. For instance, we forgot to talk about the fact that it looks like it's a little bit lower as well. I'm guessing, judging by the pictures and the distance from the tires to the wheel well, that it may have a 1-inch drop, which looks about right. Now, the vehicle that Andre is showing, that the blue one from SEMA, that had like a 3-inch drop. And that thing was very popular at SEMA, by the way, this one right here.
Yes.
But that was a one-off, thing. And
Custom thing,
yeah,
yeah.
custom thing that's going to be
Well,
running
there's
on its
no
bump
space
stops.
between fenders and the
That's
tire.
exactly it. So
Yeah.
it's for looks. However, nonetheless, there are a lot of people who are like, that sounds like a really good idea. And there are people out there who right now are slamming a bunch of Mavericks. So, and also other people who are lifting them.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about powertrains, Andre. So the vehicles that are available right now where you could take the powertrain and essentially put it in there, there's a few. But there are some problems. First of all, there's the Ford Focus RS. That disappeared a while ago. So did the ST, for that matter. All Focuses disappeared from the U.S. market. The Ford Focus RS had the 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine that put out 350 horsepower. And that was a beast. The problem, and it was all-wheel drive, so it had a proper, really good all-wheel drive system. Unfortunately, the only one available here in the United States had a 6-speed manual transmission. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts they're not going to make a manual version of the Maverick. Even though we want one, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about 2023 at least when this shows up, right?
Yes, exactly.
And also the Focus RS, I mean, that was a hot motor.
Yeah.
And that motor was also in front-wheel drive configurations
That's
and
correct.
also rear-wheel drive configurations, like, the Mustang 2.3, right?
Yeah, it's the block and everything.
And even the Ranger, too.
Correct, obviously with different mountings and different transmission setups and all that. So that engine is a potential. I mean, it exists and it's not being used here in the States. But the problem, as I said, is the transmission setup. So perhaps they'd be able to hook it up to the 8-speed. We don't know. The 8-speed automatic transmission is currently the main transmission that's being used in the C2 platform vehicles, which is also, well, not this one, which is also the Ford Escape, the Ford Bronco Sport, and of course, the Ford Maverick.
Yes.
They're all based on the C2 platform. Now, here's the question. What if you took something from a different platform that might fit? Right now, Ford is about to discontinue the Ford Edge. That's including the Ford Edge ST.
This guy.
Yes, that's correct. Ford Edge ST is currently one of the faster vehicles that Ford produces. This thing is stupid fast. Part of the reason why is Ford Edge ST has a 2.7-liter V6 EcoBoost engine that produces 335 horsepower. It's a beast, and it's hooked up to a all-wheel drive system and transmission system, both of which might fit inside.
Well, yeah, when this first came out, right? This was several years ago, 2019-ish, 2020.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe they shoehorned a 2.7 in here.
Yes.
So they can do that, I mean, with many vehicles.
Now, granted, that is the C4 platform. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, wait, that's the bigger one that's based on the Fusion and some other things. You're correct. However, a lot of the mountings, a lot of those components can be moved around. So that is the big question. Would they do something like that where they take this powertrain or part of the powertrain and put it inside of the Maverick? And I'm guessing that that's a possibility. So then there's some other questions, of course, about the interior. We cannot tell.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing you that whatever this thing's going to turn into, it will have an upgraded interior, probably with sports seats.
I would imagine, because it has to follow the theme, right?
Exactly.
They also have the Explorer ST.
Yes.
The Explorer ST is very successful. I see a lot of them around where I live.
And it's a freaking rocket.
Yeah,
it's fast.
It's powerful. It's stylish, right? They may be using the same formula. It has to, of course, be a part of the family, that
Right.
ST family. So let us know in the comments below. First of all, does this make sense? Nathan said yes.
I think it makes sense in terms of the market.
I'm on the fence still. So, just
I am on the
so
fence.
because some people actually want a little bit more off-roady capability.
Well, I agree with you,
more,
but I'm
more
just saying.
all-wheel drive type off-roady stuff.
Right, but a majority of the people who are out there are going to, who live in the city or in a suburban area aren't necessarily into off-roading.
And they want a hot truck.
Right, and so this would be, nobody else has a hot truck. Not like this, not in this size, right? So if this thing, it's running around a racetrack right now. It looks like it has a lowered suspension, most likely a performance suspension, most likely performance wheels and tires, and most likely a powerful engine, right? We can all agree on that.
Yes.
As such, it's going to appeal to young gals and guys who want to run around town really, really fast.
SoCal?
SoCal. Well, I don't know. I think this is going to be all-wheel drive, personally, so
That's
it could
fine.
go almost anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting potential for the young audience who really want a performance vehicle but also want a pickup truck bed, right?
Yeah, and Ford also surprised us recently as well. They do have an FX4. Wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
They do have an FX4, kind of off-roady. I would say mild, really
It's
mild.
mild
package.
off-roading. We have yet to really bash one, but we will.
They also trademarked the Rattler name, but now the Rattler name is on the F-150. So we
Right.
thought it was going to be reserved for the Maverick. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they surprised us with that. So maybe they were thinking more street-based performance here, and which I can see.
I wanted to call it the Ford Allosaurus because everything else like Raptor and all that other stuff has been taken, but apparently Allosaurus doesn't sound very cool. So,
Okay, maybe it's just ST
Ankylosaurus.
or GT, like you were saying.
Well, that's a possibility. So I was looking really carefully to see if that badge could be red. It can't.
No.
No, it can't. So
There you go.
if you guys have any information, if you guys have any guesses, please, logical guesses, don't say that, the 7.3 is going to be in there. No, it's not. It really won't. But just let us know because I'm very curious about this. I'm sure you guys are as well, and so is Andre.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to tell you, of course, you can contact us, ask@tfltruck.com. And also, we have a brand new one-stop shop, alltfl.com, where you can really, get a whole perspective of cars, motorcycles, off-roaders, and trucks.
Yeah, remember, guys, we have 8 YouTube channels. We have 2 podcasts. We have 4 websites. And we're still growing. So there's a lot, and it's all
One-stop shop?
one-stop shopping.
All right. Thank you for joining us once again.